Coach. Opening the season, you're 17th here on Thursday night. Just kind of an opening statement on the season, and then we'll talk about the game at hand.
Yeah, good. Oh, certainly glad to be at home and play. So looking forward to that. There's a lot of returning players for us that we're excited. I know they're excited for the upcoming season, and then as the head coach, a lot of new faces that I'm excited to see play. And there's a long camp, so we're certainly glad to be playing somebody else and competing against somebody else. So that'd be a good experience for us. And all the first game things will be, you forget even though, go back to last season, everything gets sped up when you go through seasons and all the little details of playing a game, of how you warm up, of how you communicate, your sideline, your pregame, all that kind of stuff. And so all those first things, looking forward to preparing and executing those type things, and then as we continue this preseason part of the schedule until we get to the conference schedule, we'll make a lot of mistakes. I'm sure we will, but I'm excited about this team and their effort, and they've had a good camp.
Do you take a game like this one, the first game of the season against an opponent that's got a new head coach?
Mm-hmm.
Do you do a lot of scouting for them, or is it just more self-preparation?
Yeah, self. I mean, it's just how it, the luck of the draw, you new head coach, so there's not a lot of familiarity of the schemes, but, you have a plan, and you expect the unexpected, and you hope that your rules on both sides of the ball are compliant based on, the different looks. So I would definitely say that's an advantage of a new staff playing an opponent, and then you hope that our familiarity, with our schemes and our systems and playing at home and stuff, we've certainly got to take advantage of those things that are hopefully in our favor.
Piggyback off that question, last year going to Western Kentucky to open the season,
Mm-hmm.
you got a new offensive coordinator to face.
Mhm.
Did you go back and look at what
Mm-hmm.
the new coach did at Western Illinois, on what he'd done in the past, just to kind of get a ballpark idea?
Yeah, certainly. You turn over, you turn over every stone that you have, and try to answer that. Yes, yes, you go back and you look at everything and of what the histories of the places that that they've been. But I'm sure Western Illinois is like anybody else, but you do what your players in your building are good at. Okay, so I'm sure it'll be halfway through the first quarter before we're able to see, okay, this is the direction that they're going. Okay, can we play good defense against it? Can we adjust our blocking schemes to be able to execute against it?
Is it typically in the first game of the year that you start to see the identity of the team come forward? Does that take a little bit?
I think it varies year to year. I think for us, with some injuries in the offensive line, it'll be in the next few weeks for us. That's just how it hits. Unfortunate. Offensively, I think it'll be game 3 or 4 before we kind of know what we are. So it's been a hard camp. A lot of soft tissue injuries. A lot of guys dinged up, and I'm sure it's like that in most places in the country. You hope that the game day adrenaline kicks in and guys are moving around faster, but you also hope that we practice smart with our ones and twos and threes, and a lot of guys got reps and are capable to be able to play at a high level, because there'll be a lot of guys that will get reps in this game that maybe I didn't plan on going into June.
You started transitioning into a game week last week, basically, because
Mm-hmm.
of the Thursday kickoff. How has that gone? How has that been your game week?
It's you don't ever go, especially when you're playing an opponent that you don't know a whole lot about. Okay, so you really can't go full-fledged into it. We're still practicing good on good and fast on fast, and concentrating on those things as you're playing for the weeks to come. And so it's not been a full-fledged game week because of that.
Offensive side of the football, lost 2 very good receivers off of last year's squad.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of depth last year in that position as well. What's your biggest concern in the passing game with having to bring in some guys to move into new roles to be big-time targets?
Yeah, that was kind of the tail. Last year's receivers were kind of the tail of two two seasons really, right? You had what you had early in the year before Tank got hurt early and Donnell was dinged up early, and then you lost Colton Dowell midway through the year. So, I guess there was only one game, the first game, where they were all there. They were there together. So I would tell you that this group there's as much or more talent in this group, but not as much game experience. Tank's back. He's had a great camp. Colton was out, I don't know, 15 days with a hamstring, and he's been back the last week. Smoot's playing at a high level, but he's kind of dinged up, right now. And there's more depth in that group this year than there was last year, but not as much game experience as yesterday. As you grade the tape, there's a lot of mistakes, a lot of misalignments, a lot of not the perfect execution that you desire. So that's concerning. Then you hopefully in practice today gets a little bit better than yesterday.
You're going with dressers, you're starting to look back.
Yeah, dress.
What did he do to separate himself from that job?
It's hard to overcome, 5 years worth of being in somewhat of the same system. The verbiage, it can get tweaked and go different directions, but some of the same system. And Dresser's really improved as a passer over the years. He's really worked hard at his mechanics and his delivery. But he's made some big throws for us. But I think Quad's made a lot of big plays too, as he continues to improve on, whether you want to say being comfortable in it or just eliminating some mental things. As he continues to eliminate those, we feel like we've got two quarterbacks that can play at a high level for us. But I'm certainly open-minded going into this first game to where Quad's played well enough to if the game presents itself, to get an opportunity as well on Thursday.
So you foresee both of them playing at some point?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to paint myself in a corner on it, but Quad can make plays, and so with his feet and with his arms. So, and we see it in practice every day. So, we'll see how the game goes, but he's certainly worthy.
One of the big question marks coming into last season was the offensive line play.
Mm-hmm.
They responded very well, had a very nice season. A lot of that with Keon Howard in the back as quarterback helped out a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel your offensive line will be this year with a lot of snaps under their belt coming off of last season?
Don't know yet. I think that's a big question mark for us, and there's still some injuries that are plagued there, so everybody's not in their right spot going into Thursday, and I'll just leave it at that. But that's what I was referring to. Down the road, we're going to take there's going to be some learning curve early until everybody gets back healthy and gets back in there. It has the potential to have certainly more quality depth than last year. It has the potential, because basically we were rolling with 5 guys last year, and this year I think we can get that up to 7, 8, maybe even 9, hopefully by the middle of the year. But there's certainly a learning curve going on in that room right now.
Coach, is it a difference in playing Thursday night football over Saturday afternoon football?
Yeah, there is. I mean, and there's a lot of pros to it. One, there's very few games on Thursday night, right? So, you hope you play well, and your name goes across the ticker of the television, right? With the win, and there's not 100 scores, right? There's just maybe 10 of them. So, but when you're on the road on a Thursday night, right? You're staying in the hotel together. There's a little bit of galvanizing your team and those walkthroughs and team meals and stuff, and you're away from school. When you're at home, your kids are going to school on Thursday. They're not out of school. They're not out of class until, I don't know, I think it's 12:30, 1 o'clock before they get to walkthroughs and pregame and stuff like that. So it is a little bit different than your normal Saturday.
But we wanted some Thursday night football here for the last few years, haven't
I think it's good for us. I do. I think it's good for us. I think it's good for, hopefully it's good for the crowd, and the students, feel that it's socially something that they want to be a part of, and then for the media coverage of our program, I think there's more pros and cons. Yeah.
But you come in ranked again in the nation. Is is that kind of a burden to carry on your back, or something to be proud of to play with?
I view it as something, something to be, proud of. Even when, we'll always play with a chip on our shoulder, whether you're ranked number 1 or number 51. That's I take a lot of pride in that. But, there's things that I can challenge the team on, using, last year's team. Make no mistake about it. It's off of last year's team's production. But as we try to simulate some practice habits, or simulate some locker room discipline and other things, because those are things that those group of kids and those seniors that left us did well last year. So it does give you a blueprint. It doesn't guarantee. I wish it gave you 7 points before the game started, or a 14-point lead before the game started, but it doesn't. But you hope that those traits and characteristics that the team demonstrated last year do carry over into the next season.
Ohio Valley Conference, traditionally the team that forces the most turnovers ends up winning the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, you had a ball hawking defense that forced a lot of turnovers, scored a lot on defense.
Yeah.
Do you see that happening again this year with this defensive unit?
I don't know. I don't think you ever know, John. I mean, last year, golly, go back and look and see. I think it was like it was halfway during the year, and we probably were close to the bottom, and then turnovers gained.
They might have had 5 turnovers first half against Sanford. It overcame that over the course.
Exactly. So, sometimes they come in bunches. Sometimes they do. And so, I think it just you emphasize certain things every day, and you can emphasize ball security, and then you turn it over. You emphasize, getting takeaways, and you go 4 or 5 games, and you only get 1 or 2. Then how do you get 9 over 3 weeks and stuff? So, it just depends. Are they running it? Are they throwing it? Do they have kids that are taking care of the ball? Are we squeezing the ball at contact? But no, that's certainly something that you know that the more you turn it over, the better you got to play. The more that turnovers that you get, the shorter fields you're going to get, and you try to capitalize on them. And I don't think the game will ever change. Now sometimes you go through those and look and see, and we've had good seasons around here and turned it over too much. All right, and some years we've had good seasons and didn't get very many turnovers. So you can play around it, but you've got to be good, in 2 of the 3 units to not, win those turnover margins. You either had to, if you'll go back and look at the game, if you lose the turnover margin, then you better have been really good on defense and special teams that game, for the math equation to work out for you to win.
John Ford, high character individual. Expectations of him this year.
Yeah. I'm excited about seeing John play. I remember when John got here, I guess 5 years ago, and was a converted defensive end to linebacker. And so, and I don't know if everybody remembers this, but, he didn't play a whole lot early, okay? Or very rarely. He was on some special teams, and then he got hurt his foot and was out, for a whole year. So I think this will be the year that we'll actually get to see, even though he had a great year last year, that John has learned the intricacies of playing the linebacker position. And, our linebacker coach, Brandon Butcher's done a good job with him. When I watch John now in different drills and different, in his different fits, and it looks even better than it's ever looked before, because his body's in position to make the tackle or to defeat the block, and everything. It just looks so natural right now. So I'm really excited about it. And just like you said, you never have to worry, is John going to be ready to play mentally? How will he lead us? And so we do expect big things from him.